I fell off my jet ski on the last weekend.
Have we not had a podcast since then?
We haven't.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so so bit of context for everyone is out enjoying the nice weather, and it was a little bit choppy.
Been bringing it.
Yeah, it has been, and it was a little bit choppy, and just, mind you, first time in 20 years I've fallen off. And when I say fallen off and hurt myself.
Have you had a podcast? Have you had a podcast 20 years? Have you had a jet ski for 20 years?
As in, I've been riding them for that period of time, on and off.
Yeah.
But my first one, I was like 23, 22, somewhere there. 18 years. Shit. Technicality. So the first time I came off and actually hurt myself though, because I've fallen off a couple of times, but always just in the water, back on, cool, let's go. So a rogue wave came out of nowhere, lost control of the ski, and as I fell off, I hit the jet ski before I hit the water. Now, I reckon I've hit the ski at about 40 to 50K. Now, I showed you when I came in the next day, massive bruise on my leg. Like, I'm talking the size of a bowling ball. It was purple. Like, it was all fucked up. Fractured a couple toes as well. So a bit of fun. Walking with a limp. And no, I'm actually okay. It's a week later and I feel fine. Like, it hurts to touch, but it's not hindering me from doing whatever I want to do. I literally went, just for context, I went to gym on Wednesday. So I did it on Sunday, was at the gym on Wednesday. Didn't do any lower body, but still working out, still worked, everything. The next day I was really sore, still rocked up to work. Something I actually thought about, funny enough. It's like, if I was working for someone, I probably would have taken the day off, had a sickie.
Yeah, I guess
I probably would have taken a couple of days off. Hey, I fell off my jet ski. I've hurt myself. I need a couple of days sick leave.
It's like a green light, right? And you're like,
yeah,
this is what sick leave is for.
That's right. Give myself permission.
I'm not going to get paid out this when I need.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean?
But you know what? I was like, nah, fuck that. I'm going to work. I've got shit to do.
Dude, I was that guy.
Yeah, I mean, I would have been that guy too. There was times when I've even woken up and I didn't feel 100%. You know what I mean? Felt 85 or 90%. I'm like, oh, a bit crook. I might take the day off.
Hey, how good is that? Do you recall the feeling of waking up to know like, so now I'm going to call in sick, making the call, and then once they're like, all right, cool, I'll see you tomorrow. And then you'll hang up and you're like, yes. And then you get back to sleep.
I used to have a boss that would just tear you to shreds if you took a day off though. So
yes.
Yeah, like that when I was working at Multiplex. But
have a solid excuse.
Yeah, well, that's it.
Yeah.
Got a headache.
Gastro.
Don't want me to come in with everyone.
Yeah, I'm doing this for you.
So anyway, that wasn't what I was thinking. But the one thing I did think also, whilst I had this injury, was for at least 3 to 4 days, I was definitely limping and walking a bit slower. And I was like, how many times before that moment did I look back at my life and go, fuck, how good is it to be walking without any pain?
Why would you? The law of familiarity, right? Like, it's what we know, what we used to.
Yeah.
Of course my water's clean.
That's right. You don't think about it until it's dirty and you can't get clean water anywhere. How good were those days back in the day?
Of course I drink filtered water.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So it's even good from a perspective as regrounding myself and go, you know what? I should practice a bit of gratitude from the perspective of what other things in my life do I take for granted? Because we do inherently take things for granted.
It's human nature.
Exactly. It's human nature. So I don't think
it's like, this is not going to kill me anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not going to focus on that. What else is?
Yeah. So I did. I was like, cool, man. I can't wait. I was so grateful for the fact that I can walk still, even though it's in pain. Like, I can still walk.
But yeah, go.
And here's another thing I noticed as I got injured. So there's 3 things I picked up.
What an injury.
Yeah, what an injury. How great is that when you're learning from something like that? The first thing was, if I was working for someone, I would have taken the day off, and probably so would have my employees. But I came to work. I'm like, no, fuck that, working. I've got stuff to do. Second thing was practicing the gratitude as far as, my leg's hurting, it wasn't hurting. And the third thing was, which I think is the most interesting, I've been training, as many of you know, for the last 12 months. I genuinely reckon that had I not been training for the last 12 months and training legs quite hard and built that muscle mass, I reckon I would have broken my leg.
That's massive.
It's a big call. But I think I hit myself hard enough that it would have caused some decent damage. Like on my leg, I reckon I would have fractured, at the very least fractured, maybe not broken, I would have fractured a bone in my body.
Yeah.
But because I've been training so hard.
That's a big bone.
Yeah, and it's also a big muscle too.
Yeah.
But I still feel like it was literally on my side. So imagine, just below the hip, that's where I hit it on the leg. But, despite how much it hurt at the time or hurt thereafter, I genuinely believe the fact that I've been building muscle mass over the last 12 months is the reason why I didn't do serious damage and why I reckon I've continued and healed so quickly too.
How did you So you come off, you went straight into, like you hit the thing and went
Yeah,
into
so I
the
hit
water.
the ski and then hit the water. It's a bit hard to explain, but pretty much the ski went out from under me. I fell off the side, and as I fell into the water, before I hit the water, I hit the ski and then went into the water. Went into the water and like instantly, like you brace and hold your breath. You're like, because you know it's coming. And then went in and came straight out. So that was
Were you
okay.
in deep
'cause I was-
water?
Yeah, absolutely. I was at least 250 meters from shore.
Okay, so like
Thereabouts.
7-8 meters.
Yeah, as in out. Yeah, I don't know how deep
Oh,
it
how-
would
you
be.
don't know.
I was from shore. I was about
But you
to
didn't
go-
touch the ground.
No. I was definitely not that shallow. But yeah, hit the water and then the ski went about 20 meters away. So when I got up and actually was like, oh, fuck, I have to swim. But the first thing I was checking, I was like, okay, I got to check my leg. Am I broken? Is everything there?
Did you panic?
No, I was actually pretty cool. Like I was logical.
No, but like sharks.
Oh, no, I didn't even think that. Didn't even come to mind. Not even at all. Not even now that you said it. Like not once has it entered my mind about sharks. But I got in the water and the first thing I thought was, okay, grab my leg that I hit. And I'm like, cool, is anything sticking out?
Yeah,
and literally hand all the way down to the bottom. Cool, everything's there, fingers, toes, all right.
I'll
Cool.
move it. Yeah, okay.
And then I kicked and I was like, okay, I can move. So then I was in pain, but then I swam over to the ski, got back on. And there was a couple of guys that were on skis as well that saw me. They came over and said, oh, you're all right. So we saw that.
That's nice.
Yeah, it was good. It's kind of good in that regard. There is a good community in that space as well. There are some good guys.
Similar thing on motorbikes as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Like they looked out for each other, and I would do the same. There's also plenty of dickheads as well. Like that,
Especially
particular
on
day.
skis, yeah.
Yeah, that particular day, there was it's a shame because it ruins it for everyone that does the right thing. And all that it's going to mean is eventually they're just going to reduce the amount of boating zones there are in.
Yeah, you can't
In those
get
bays.
out, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. They're just going to reduce and go, cool, all the boats and jet skis are now down the far end of Port Melbourne. You can't come in this area anymore. And it's going to happen, and I understand why, because literally that day, there was probably 6 or 7 skis where we were in Albert Park, and there was at least 3 of them just being dicks. Like within the 5-knot zone from shore to about 100 meters out, they're just hammering it and doing donuts, and like there's people around, there's kids around. Just go out. It's less than a minute before you go past the boys and you can go whatever speed you want and do whatever you want, but they do it within that zone. But also in the same token, it's like, you know, the cops, like if I was a copper, if I was on patrol, like I would just park myself there all day. It's going to, you're going to catch at least the guys doing the wrong thing.
What's the rule? Is it 50 meters?
It depends with the zones, like with the areas.
Yeah.
But some are further out than others. It's about 200 meters from shore.
Yeah,
Is the
okay.
general rule. It's 5 knots.
Yeah, they should, because it's dangerous, dude. Like if you're in the water and just your head's out
No.
and someone doesn't see you, like that will damage you.
Here's another great lesson I learned. It was just a great reminder to go, you know what? This is a machine that I could really hurt myself on. Because people have hurt themselves real bad.
Oh, dude, yeah. I
Like
know
broken
people-
ribs, broken heads, lost teeth. Like,
yeah.
see, it was,
Smashed straight into the water.
it
It
was-
was like,
that's right.
and
I said,
broken a
20
nose.
years I haven't had anything.
Mm.
For 1 year. It just takes one time though. That one time that you really hurt yourself. And that for me, I'm glad it happened to me.
yeah. And
Because-
you got to walk away.
Yeah, I got to
Limping.
walk away, limping, but yeah, it's all right. I still walked away.
I still walked away, yeah.
So that was another good thing to go, you know, reminder, these are dangerous machines. They can be dangerous machines, but so can a car. So is a car. So is a motorbike. They're all dangerous machines, and it's good to get that, to have that healthy respect there for them.
Yeah, I agree. So but here's the thing though, right? We've spoken about this before remember I shared the story about my car not starting.
Yeah.
And then I was so pumped that my car started. I don't get zero excitement that my car starts.
Again,
Yeah, zero
well,
excitement.
there you got a brand new one.
If anything, now I start it when I'm in my apartment. And if I go downstairs and it's not on, I'm angry. You know what I mean? Like, oh, why is this not working? What is this?
My seat is not warm.
Yeah.
What's going on?
It's not crank. Yeah. So what is happening?
Take it back.
So what are you going to do to remind yourself? Like, how do you continue on this same level of gratitude over and over? Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, without a doubt it does, but it's got to be a habit. It's got to become a habit where you got to practice that.
Yeah.
That's all it is, because again, you'll
You
fall
just
into
need
that
to
same trap.
remind yourself.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. It's so hard.
The other thing I'm really grateful for is like 90% of the time my son's on with me. Not 90, but whenever I'm out, like he's generally on with me too. So I'm so glad it happened without him on it.
Yeah.
You know,
Would
'cause
you
that could have been bad as well.
I'm going to make an assumption here, but I feel like you probably ride differently.
Correct.
With your sons. Yeah.
You made the right assumption too. So it is, you're completely right. And chances are I probably wouldn't have put myself
In-
I wouldn't have been going as fast,
Yeah.
put it that way.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
if you wouldn't, with him on board,
Yeah.
you'd just be a little bit more cautious, I'd assume.
Yeah, without a doubt.
You probably
Without
like
a doubt, I do. Yeah, Scale of 1 to 10.
Is it? Yeah.
Like it's pretty good. He's up there.
4.
He's up there.
Yeah. So what are you going to do? Just keep reminding yourself.
Well, yeah, I suppose the next time I get on it, there'll be a healthy reminder there. And I think for every other time that I get on it thereafter, they'll be like, oh.
Yeah, but dude, I'm telling you, it will fade. I used to do the same thing. I used to have a Ducati 848. And have you ever ridden road bikes?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. So when you first start riding, you're nervous and everything, and then you get used to it and you get cockier and cockier and cockier, and then you come into a corner too hot, and then you just make the corner and your heart's racing, and then you turn into like a bitch again, and all of a sudden you're not willing to do what you were willing to do before, and you pull back. But then the confidence builds up again and again, and then you start to do the same thing, and then you have a close call again.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I found I couldn't stop myself from getting cocky again. Do you know what I mean? I would always just, I can do this. Like, no, I've got control. Like and you don't. You know what I mean? But I would always sell it to myself that I did.
Yeah.
So yes, I think it's easier said than done.
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Easier said than done.
I think it'll take a while though, for myself at least. Because it's, as I said, it hadn't happened in 20 odd years that I've been riding them. And now it was the one time that it's actually come off and hurt.
Just happened, you haven't been back on?
Oh, not since that. Well, purely, I would have gone on this weekend. It was great weather this weekend. I would have gone on, no issues, if I wasn't, I'm still not 100% healed. So I don't want to push the barrel. But yeah, I've got no fear around it, which is fine. My missus was like, oh no, we're going to sell it now. I'm like, relax. Like, anything's dangerous if you're an idiot.
So the same thing happened. So my cousin's brother-in-law went through a glass wall in Bali on a scooter.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know how he did something, went through a wall. And as soon as he went through the wall, everyone was all of a sudden like to my cousin, that's it. No more scooters. That's it. And I'm like, listen, dude, like, you're a fucking adult. Like, you know what I mean? Ride safely.
Yeah.
Don't be a dickhead. But you can't just like, imagine someone has a car accident, died, everyone says, no more cars.
That's right. And it's also, you're letting your fear control you too.
Yeah. It's like, dude, like, are you comfortable riding? Yeah. Do you feel okay doing it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then just be safe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Go pay attention. Don't sit there on your phone fucking around. Pay attention. Do it safely. And you'll be fine. And then he video called me riding a scooter. And I was like, get fucked.
Yeah. I may have mentioned this story once before, but have you seen the movie Sully? Of course you have. Everyone's seen the movie Sully. I think it's called Sully. Where it's about the aeroplane that landed in the Mississippi River.
Of course. Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. But seen the ads.
Yeah. Okay. So long story short, this aeroplane.
Based on a true story.
It's a true story. Absolutely. Yeah. It's a very true story. Great. It's actually a pretty good movie. Not a bad watch. If you got nothing to do and it comes on.
Sully.
Sully. I think I'm pretty sure it's called Sully.
Something like that.
So long story short, emergency landing and the pilot.
In the Hudson River.
The Hudson River. Well, yeah, whatever river.
Some
American river. Fucking look it up.
Yeah, Texas. Vegas.
The Murray.
Yeah.
And he had to come in and land the plane on the water. Really traumatic. So everyone survived on the plane. No one died.
How good.
Yeah, absolute hero. Even though he actually got the story goes, the pilot got like taken to court and they were trying to pin it on him when really they ended up coming out and going, he actually saved everyone's life. Otherwise, if he tried to make it to the airport, he would have crashed and burned in a mountain or a city or something. So he made the right call going into the river. Long story short, every single passenger on there, how do you reckon they got home that day? Or the next day?
Plane.
No, not most of them. No, most of them were complete. I don't think anyone except for one guy, everyone else would have driven home or caught a bus or caught a train because they were so terrified of flying.
I get that.
Yeah, I understand. But there was this one guy, he caught a flight and he actually went around the whole of America touring and giving motivational talks around this. He got on a flight that same night. All right, and he was shit scared. But he knew like flying is the safest way of transportation. Is one of the safest methods of transportation. Statistically, absolutely. It's just when something bad happens, it's horrific. That's why people often shit themselves in planes.
Dude, you ever guess to see that South Korea thing?
No. I don't think I did. No.
Oh man.
Oh, where it goes into the building or whatever.
Yeah,
You were saying that
much
last
harder.
time.
Yeah, much harder to find the footage now. But
Mm.
when it happened, it was new, and I saw the footage straight away. And you could see the whole thing.
Yeah, right.
Plane goes into the wall, blows up.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing was caught on camera,
Mm.
and it's full. I saw that, and I'm like, that's full on. 2 people survived.
Yeah.
They're sitting at the back of the plane.
Yeah.
Guess where this guy sits now?
Back of the plane. Yeah, it is. It's actually, I think statistically, it's the safest
Makes
place.
sense, yeah.
So, long story short, he got onto a flight that, like, within a few hours, got to shore, got on a flight and went home. And as a result of that, he still flies today. But you fast forward 20, 30 years since that episode, you go and interview all those people and ask them how many of them ever got back on a plane after that. And it's like a very, very small, it's like 3% of the plane got back on a plane after that. And they
Planes are different.
yeah, but they all let their fear control them. Whereas this guy went out and goes, no, he was the only one that caught a flight home that night. He's like, no, I'm going to get back on a plane. I'm not going to let this fear control me or the rest of my life or anything it is. I'm going to get back on a plane. He was probably nervous. And how unlucky do you have to be
It's like, statistically speaking,
yeah.
you're probably at the safest point. If you're just in a plane that went down,
Yeah.
you're probably so safe. Like you're probably odds of it happening are so small.
So small.
And if it happened, you're just gonna say like, that's it.
Yeah. So I kind of look at that if ever something bad was to happen, I think I would have the very same mindset. I go, no, cool. This isn't going to control me. Let's get back on the bike.
Yeah, depending on what it is, but
Yeah, of course.
Because, like-
you don't want to put yourself in harm's way if it's statistically,
dude, like same thing with skydiving.
yeah,
Have you ever been?
I haven't, and I don't actually think I will.
Why?
Like, why the fuck am I going to get into a plane and actively jump off with the risk of killing myself?
Yeah,
Small,
very
but
small.
actively go there to do that.
Oh, look, definitely
have-
crosses your mind.
Yeah, but I don't have the itch to go and do something like that.
Neither did I,
Mm.
but I did it, and
Amazing experience.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
It's
it's pretty
just
cool.
like-
It's not life changing.
Oh, like I didn't sleep any differently that night.
Yeah.
Slept very differently the night before.
Yeah.
But actually, you know what? I was actually really over it because they cancelled on us a few times.
Yeah.
Um,
Is that weather conditions?
yeah. And I called them. I was like, "Hey guys, great job. Like, if it's not safe, I don't want to do it."
Yeah.
But I also got over it because one time we even drove to Geelong because it was at Barwon Heads. Yeah, we drove all the way there, and they're like, "Oh, you got to be able to stand by." Let's fucking do some return our breakfast, and then they're like, "Oh, it's not gonna happen." So I drove back home.
Yeah.
So when it was finally happening, I'm like, "Oh yeah, whatever. It's probably getting cancelled. Like until you're up in the plane, and then you're like, "Oh, this isn't going to get cancelled." Like, I haven't actually gone ahead with it.
Yeah.
And you do get those thoughts though, like, why the fuck are we doing this? Like, this is a perfectly good plane. Guys, stop mucking around. Just land the plane.
Yeah, that's it.
It's got landing gear.
Great view. Thanks a lot. This was fun.
This was fun.
Let's go back.
Let's not be silly.
Yeah.
Let's not be silly.
Well, you're strapped to another bloke.
My point, you are strapped to another bloke.
Yeah.
My point, but is if you had a skydiving accident and it happens, right? And people survive.
Hmm.
And would you go back again and say, I'm not going to let this fear conquer me? No way, dude. I would not. I can honestly say,
No,
I probably wouldn't do it again.
Yeah, I could safely say that as well.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying there. But then if it was something I had, maybe I should change that. If it was something I had to do again, do you know what I mean? I wouldn't say if it was driving, for example, horrific car accident.
Oh, dude, I know people that don't drive.
Yeah.
I used to have
But for that reason.
hairdresser that had a horrific accident
Yeah.
and wouldn't drive, was not willing to drive anymore. They would jump in a car, but they weren't willing to put themselves at the wheel.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was young. I was like, okay, that's different.
Yeah. Interesting.
But yeah, I definitely wouldn't do it for skydiving.
Yeah. I'm sure there's definitely some stuff there.
No way. Yeah, so you get back on the ski, no problem.
Yeah, I wouldn't even think twice. Wouldn't think twice. As I said, I'd be a little bit more sensible in choppy weather, I guess. But even other things, like I've been on the Murray doing 120 k's an hour. Come off on 120 k an hour, like that's.
Oh, you came off?
No, I'm saying you did.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And there's probably other people in the opposite direction doing that as well. Like imagine, like you can cause some serious damage in things. Like you're taking risks. You're increasing your risk probability of.
Everything is.
Everything is. That's right.
No
There
worries.
is nothing, you risk everything.
What's your favorite?
If you like that clip and you want to watch another one, click just over here. And if you want to watch the full episode, click just over here. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.